Ooh, what episode is that? Is that number 17 coming down the line? It's Potty here with Chewy. This
What's up,
is
Potty?
Rinkside. Woo, man, I'm feeling pumped today. This is a big episode. We're almost at 18.
Yeah,
Almost.
almost at 20.
Yeah, almost at 20. That's true. It's grown so much. I feel like a father with this child growing up. How are you? How are you doing? How's the family? How are things?
Yeah, things are good. Got back from the Dominican Thursday morning at like 12:30 a.m. Uh was good for 2 days. The kids were a little sick and now as per usual, you've probably heard this on a previous episode, but the wife, myself and the family are sick once again. Got the fevers, got the coughs, got the phlegm. It's just man, yeah, it's been brutal. But other than that, pretty much just been chilling at home, relaxing, trying to get better. And I came back home to like my mailbox full of hockey cards this week. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to show them all, but I'll show this fat stack right here.
Ooh.
There's like probably like 15 to 20 cards in there. And if Potty, are you able to pull up a photo for me?
Yeah, pulled it
I
up.
got this bad boy, so it's a pretty sweet. It's like 6 different cards with like the different parts of the logo. So when you put them together, it's like the full patch. Once again, the Anthony Mantha cards. Yeah, it's just so sick. I'm gonna get like a frame and put them all together. So that's what I'm super proud of. Yeah.
Ooh, very nice. I got to
How's it?
start.
I was gonna say, how's it over in Potty's penthouse?
Potty's penthouse. My head looking good. It looks like there should be a crown around it, but actually, in behind up there, I actually hung my diploma.
Oh,
Because
let's go.
so got my diploma up there. My brother he had this hockey stick at home and it's signed by somebody, but I don't know who. So I need to like check to see who the signature is by because I don't want it if they suck or something, right? You want to have like a
Yeah,
cool,
yeah. You want to get
cool.
you want a good stick.
But I'm thinking about adding that to the wall along with this thing called a shofar. It's a ram's horn in the Jewish tradition. You like blow through it on a lot of
Oh,
different
that's
times.
sick.
It's like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, like
That's
in the
pretty
Two
sweet.
Towers with Gimli. Yeah, so working on maybe accessorizing the back wall, but it's looking pretty good. With what we got right here. So um, we got a good episode for you today. Kind of short, Chewy's got to rest up, so we're going to be a little bit brief, going to be, making the most of his time here, but we're going to walk through the standings. Then we're doing a spotlight on some of the league leaders. This time we're looking at points per 60. We've got a special on average time on ice per game and endurance. And then we will be talking about the All Star game and plays of the week. And we've also got a top five for you. Walking through the standings, let's pull those up right now. And we have our pro standings. Chewy, how does this look? Can you read this? You want me to walk through this?
Yep. No, we're good. Yeah, so we'll quickly run through it. Las Vegas still up at the top with a nice points of 46, only 4 regulation losses, 2 overtime losses. Alaska's not far behind, only behind by 1 OT loss. Then you got Turku and Jacksonville tied up. Then Florida, Dublin. I don't know. We're not looking good right now, but we're turning things around with a win tonight. Still locked in for the playoffs at the moment, so I'm not too worried. The season's about testing stuff, and we're getting ready for the playoffs. That's all that matters. And at the bottom, we got Melbourne, San Diego dropped a little bit. They were sitting in a playoff spot earlier this season. Now they're second to last. Honolulu, Norfolk had a couple good wins. They're moving up. Florence and Boston, and one interesting, I guess, because of the conferences. And I don't know if you've taken a look at it. Tennessee with a better goal differential than Albuquerque and Rome, but they're
Mm-hmm.
behind. And because of the conferences, they need to pass Redwater to make the playoffs. So even if they
Wow.
go past Rome, Albuquerque, and Dublin, and they're sitting in seventh, they still won't be in a playoff spot. So that's
Well,
interesting.
tough day to
Um,
be in Tennessee, right?
Yeah, but their offense has been been on par this season.
Yes. Well, it's yeah, it's definitely things have definitely shaken up. You know, the Sinners sitting at the top. I don't know. That to me like was surprising this season, but they've maintained their position and they're up there. They won the wasn't Twin Screw saying that they won the championship like the second season or something.
And yeah, in season 2.
Okay,
So season 1 was Florida, season 2 was Vegas, 3 Dublin, and then 4 Alaska.
all right. Those are how the chips fell in Vegas, but it looks pretty good. Number five looking pretty shiny. 34 points, that's a pretty big difference. 34, actually, in another one is like Florida's got 34, and then above them, Jacksonville only has 26. But they
That's the
are,
goal differential, yeah.
yes, the differential. So that means that, what does that mean? They've just scored more
That
goals?
yeah, so Jacksonville scored 75 goals. So it's just the difference between the goals they scored and the
Hmm.
goals that they let in. So Jacksonville scored 1 more goal than Florida, but let in 9 more.
Ah,
So,
I see.
yep.
Well, I guess that's
How's
how.
the yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. How's the Miners looking
Woohoo.
this time?
Pulling up, Ice Ice Baby at the top. They are 12-4 with two overtime losses. Holding it down, MB Manitoba all the way at the bottom, 6-8 with four overtime losses. Warsaw, you know, we're there in seventh, but it's all about this play where we catapult ourselves into the
I'm gonna
playoffs.
interrupt you here because you're looking at last week's schedule still or standing still.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah, 21 games so far this season for the
Okay.
Miners. But
Well,
I got it pulled up. If you can pull it up in the Discord real quick. A little bit of technical issues, it happens. But I'll go through it as you pull it up. Iceland in first still, 14 wins, 5 losses, 2 overtime losses, 30 points. Behind them, 5 points back. Atlantic and Saskatoon both tied. Malmo and Tokyo, 24, 22 points. And unfortunately, Warsaw is sitting at 19 points with 9 wins, 11 losses, and Manitoba's 1 point ahead. So it's a
yeah,
tough
well,
time to be a Warlock.
yeah, I don't know. What I'm looking at on the screen doesn't say anything like that. So, I don't know. Your numbers are there. I'll take them. I'll take your word for it. Uh,
All right.
but, but hey, all I know is that the difference between first place and last place in this hypothetical scenario is still only 11 points. And I think
Only
a
11.
a big shakeup just went down in Warsaw. We just redid all our strats. We just redid all our lines, and we've come together. And it's going to be a Herculean task to take first, but we're going to make it into the playoffs, and we're going to slit some throats along the way. So let's go. The Warlocks have blades up their sleeves, and now we are going to transition into our spotlight. So let's take a look at this. We've got the league leaders, points per 60. And guess who's at the top? Our man David Hume, the guy that's going to set the goals record this season. But he is producing quite productively 3.61. That's a pretty high number considering, even second place doesn't even cross into the 3.0 threshold.
Yeah. Yeah, that's super interesting. I know just from rumblings in the chats, I think Hume plays on the third line in Turku. So that's a big part of it, getting third line minutes, but being able to produce the same amount of goals as really first line players. It's interesting to think if he played more time, if it would translate to more goals, or is because his line matches are putting him against maybe more favorable positions to score,
Mm,
if that makes any sense.
yeah. Like there's like I don't know in like the SFL there would be like strength of schedule or strength of victory or something,
Right,
and it would be like how competitive the remaining teams are that you're gonna
right.
face. So it could be like that, like how competitive are your lines compared to that of other team members. Who knows?
Yeah,
But I would say 3 points if you're on the ice for an hour and you're bringing home almost 4 goals. That's pretty good.
that is impressive. And I really like this stat because it does shine those lower line players. Um, because just because you're playing less and you're not maybe producing as much as a first liner, the time you spend on the ice just shows how efficient you are, you know? Players like Benji Idaho and Joey Phillips, they may not be the top line players, but they produce when they're, on the ice.
Mm-hmm. Yes. The old ice metric measurer. And another metric that we were looking at, we've got here, someone posed a question, like what if we looked at average time on ice? So, how often you're actually playing in a game, and then we compare that to endurance. So, endurance is the horizontal axis, that's the one that goes like this, that's the hamburger. And then average time on ice, that's the vertical one, that's the hot dog. So, in these axes, it's kind of hard to see, and you also can't see my mouse cursor, but I actually um, created dots for Chewy and I. If you look to the far right, there's an orange dot right above 20 minutes, and that's Chewy. And then if you scroll down to the bottom left, under 15 minutes, under 70 endurance, you can see the Pawtai dot. It's orange. So I thought it was kind of interesting. If when I put together like a correlation metric in Excel to kind of study these two columns, and there was only like a 0.47 correlation, which isn't super high. We would be wanting something like 0.995 or something would be like, oh,
Right.
this is a high significance. But this is correlation and maybe a different metric altogether. Point is, it should be a little bit higher. But if you do look at like the distribution of these dots on the line, you do see kind of like I'm going to try to draw it in the reverse because it's like this. Oh man, this is hard. Basically,
Yeah.
like a forward slash,
Right.
going this way, which
Right.
you can kind of see. So it looks like the greater your endurance, the more time on ice you have.
Yeah, and one thing to keep in mind, it doesn't factor in like line positions. So there's still maybe like a fourth line play. Well, I find it weird, but if like a fourth line player with 100 endurance, only playing like 16 minutes, you see the dots on the far right. It's interesting to see, 100 endurance still isn't at the top. And then you kind of got like the under 70 endurance is almost playing 25 minutes. So for anyone that's, I guess, sitting around like over 20 minutes, I would definitely look into your players investing in some endurance. It might help them on the ice. Those players sitting at under 50 should probably get to at least 62 or 60 as well.
Mm-hmm. And what package comes with endurance? That's speed skating or in distance skating?
Yeah, distance skating. So you got your endurance, your balance, and durability. So all things to help you last longer on the ice. Uh, you know, um,
There we go.
yeah, last longer with that.
On on the ice. It's something that happens to every skater in their lifetime. So nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah,
We might need some more endurance, but we
Roman swipes,
yes.
Rinkside promo code.
uh, cool. So here we go. We've got our time on ice. So now we're going to move over to the All Stars. And I gotta be honest, Chewy, I don't got anything prepared for this. I want to just hear your what do you think about for the All Star game?
Yeah, I think so. Actually, I was thinking about this. I think today or yesterday. I think we started this podcast around the All Star Game last season because I vaguely remember talking about the rules and everything of the All Star Game, which we can go over again today. But it's kind of cool. So we're pretty much at like a full season of Rinkside right now.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, so the All-Star game. We do this every season. There's been different ways we've done it. We've kind of been doing this. We've done this version of it for past season where everyone votes for players in their division. So you're essentially like nominating your team's division and then facing off against the other divisions. The winner of the All Star game, all those players in the division get an extra bonus attribute. Everyone who played in it gets an extra +5 in the off season. And yeah, it's cool. We do some shootouts. There's a little tournament between all the divisions, and then there's that champion division. Obviously, the Europe took it last season, and we're definitely fighting for it again this season. And yeah, a couple other notes that I wanted to bring up as well about it. Um, there is a minimum and maximum amount of players per team. So I think 7 is the max a team can have. So you're not having like 19 Dublin players because I don't think anyone but Dublin players would watch it if it was like
Hmm.
that. And then a minimum of 3. So there is representation between all the teams. And yeah, when the results come out, be positive. Don't start shitting on other people if they made it. It's a time to celebrate, not be a dick to other people. So yeah. Have you well, I'll take it to you. Have you ever competed in an all-star game potty?
You know, I thought I did not, and then I thought I did, but honestly, I am not a reliable expert on this yet.
Yeah. Did you coach the minors all-star game last season?
That may have like been what it was,
Okay.
but
Cool.
I don't totally know.
That's cool. Well, yeah, I mean, the results come out October 30th. I think the Sunday, because that week, next week is 2 games on the 31st and 1st, and then we got 3 days of all-stars. Um Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it. I got my vote in. I know. I know you probably got your vote in. Is there any player that maybe that you'd think deserves to be there that might not get the recognition they deserve, or I don't know. Do you think?
Hell yeah, everybody better be voting for Potty for this All Star game. And if you're not, then you're making a fool of yourself. Potty delivers in the World Cup. Potty scored a goal, which is hard, and it's hard for Potty to score a goal. But you know, in crucial poise times, you want Potty on your team. So that's why everyone in whatever division I'm in, make sure you vote for me. If you're in a different division, take another player's name in our division, submit another application, make sure you get my votes in.
Don't do that. Definitely
Uh,
don't do that.
Okay. Well, no, I think it'll be fun. And you know, who knows? Maybe there'll be something where Rinkside gets to help with something cool in the
Oh
future.
yeah, maybe announcing it or something.
Yeah,
That would be yeah, that'd be cool.
that would be nice. All
Cool.
right.
So why don't we take it to the next segment, Potty? What do we got?
All right, and we've got our plays of the week. So we're gonna start off. I'm gonna take number one, and
All right.
this is I forget who sent this. I think Krieg maybe sent this. You Scurvy Dog. Let's check. I don't know, but I was like, wow, man, they clipped this like really, really short. It's kind of hard to see what's happening. So when I did this, I went and I saw the slow motion replay, but you can see Winkler throwing in there, and I thought that was pretty good. So we're gonna move on to number two.
Yeah, next up we got Deer and Net looking like a big save. Big boy Deer with the splits and then makes another rebound save. This is just like flexibility at its finest. The ice player had a full open net and Deer was able to stop that.
Yes, Deer's looking good, looking pretty good. And next up, we've got, oh my God, who's that? Is that Potty? Potty loses a face off. What a travesty. But then Hill takes a shot, and oh my God, Potty made a goal. This is, the moons were aligned for this one. Um, and I'll take it. I've been waiting for a goal. I've been itching for one. I had to bet
This was your first of the season?
my first of the season, first as a challenger. Uh, so I'm pretty thrilled.
Congratulations.
And we'll throw this. I'll actually take this one as well. You can see Potty coming down the ice. Um, let's see. All right, Potty's to the far right. He's in the middle. Okay, here comes somebody, and boom! Potty
Whoa.
then injures one of the Marauders, comes into here. I don't know who I'm fighting, and it doesn't really matter because I know I'm about to win. And I've already taken out one of the Marauders. And now they're bringing in the second stretcher. The guy's about to go down, comes in with one old jib jab. Oh, one, and then boom! Oh,
Oh,
knocked
there you
out.
go.
And then watch this. I step on his feet and chop off a toe along the way on the way out. All
There
right,
you
number
go.
five.
All right, next up we got friend of the show, Joey Rab, coming in with a nice OT winner on Norfolk.
Ooh.
Just a nice little move and then slides it right past Twin Screw. You don't see these goals let in by Twin Screw often, but someone like Joey Rab can definitely make that happen.
Oh, yeah. All right. And check this out. Look out. Oh, one hit,
Oh,
two hits.
jeez.
And we've got Alou in a fight over here. Gotta be honest, this is a bit of a long fight. I might skip through it, but if I keep talking and it sounds interesting, we might just keep watching. Alou's over there. He's knocking out the other guy. He's number 3. His helmet just gets popped off, but then he pops down, throws him onto the ground, and then watch what happens to Alou after he's skating off the ice, shakes his hands, and then the ref says, "Hey, you, get out of here." Sends him down the tunnel for fighting. He was ejected. I thought that was pretty cool. Coming in with number 7. Here you go,
Just to
Chewy.
clarify, he was ejected because of the hit, not because of the fight.
Oh,
So,
so
yeah, it was
he was allowed to do an illegal hit that gets him ejected and then still fight afterwards and then get ejected?
well, yeah, so I guess I mean, the hit happened and then the fight was kinda like a protect his player kinda thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but the hit was boarding, 5-minute major, he's ejected from the game. That was the main reason.
All right. Well, what a fight that was. Not as good as mine, but it's pretty good.
Next up, we got our boy Duncan with a beautiful save. There was a couple
Oh,
there. He got run over by Saskatoon, but he stood strong. Let's see that one more time. Oh, he decked him. Yeah, he doesn't get pushed around, that's for sure.
yeah.
Good boy, Joey Duncan.
Joey Duncan. Yeah, no, that was fresh. I like that one. And those were our plays of the week. So now we've got to wrap up. We have our top 5. And do you know what our top 5 this week is, Chewy?
Yeah, this week it was a little bit of a quick one, short notice, but we're going with our top 5 teams this week, and we already
Sports
got
teams.
a lot of our listeners already commenting their favorite teams. It's actually kind of cool. A lot of people are putting up like what year as well. I didn't think about that. Probably should have done that for my list, but um, yeah, cool that people have like specific dates and teams and all that stuff.
I did think of that and then I got rid of it. So for the record, I did have the 97 Bulls where he did the flu game. And I've got the 65 Dodgers where Sandy Koufax refused to pitch on, what was it? Passover, I think. Or, or,
Okay,
it, or it was Day of Atonement. I forget. Um,
okay,
one of those
sweet.
two. But it was like anyways, so I think I went. I should go first because you went first last time.
Yep,
All right. So
go right ahead.
number 5, we've got. Oh, who's that? That's Bucky the Badger from Wisconsin. I didn't go to Madison, but my old roommate went there, and my girlfriend goes or like went there as well. So I've kind of inherited this. Went to a football game. It was pretty cool. I like them, and I think the mascot's sick. So that's my number 5.
Sweet. My number 5, we got the Carolina Hurricanes. So, I guess to preface this, this list will pretty much be all hockey and soccer because that's like my main sports. Carolina, I didn't start liking till like pretty recently, like maybe the past few years, but they have some of my favorite players like Andrei Svechnikov. Um, they have Anderson now in net. They had Dougie Hamilton, so they had like a lot of players I really liked, and just their team attitude, like when they started doing like their post game like antics on the ice, and then Don Cherry started calling them a bunch of jerks, and then that just became a whole meme. The storm surge, I think that's what they called it. After each game, they do like something funny on the ice, which like typically never happens in hockey, so they kind of like started something. So yeah, I just like the attitude of the Hurricanes. Their Twitter account's fucking hilarious when they had their beef with the Montreal Canadiens. So I just like the team. I like the players. Nothing much more to it.
Nice. A good team Twitter account is always something to be recognized. And number 4, we've got the Chicago Bears. I don't know a single player on this team. I know that Brian Urlacher played on this team, and there was this kicker named like Rory, or no, I'm thinking of a golfer. I don't know, but
Rory McIlroy.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so kicker, golfer, pretty close. Bears, though they play in Soldier Field, and that is the oldest stadium in the NFL. So, Chicago fan, got to go with the Bears. Bear down. Let's go with number 4.
Yeah, number 4, we're on to the soccer. So Chelsea, I've liked this team since I started watching soccer. They're my Premier League team. Uh, Not a huge popular name on the team at the time, but Fernando Torres, favorite player. He was great, and then he kinda, like, busted, but, like, that's okay because he was still, like, my idol growing up as a soccer player. Um, I don't watch too much Premier League now, but, like, when I do, I'm always cheering for Chelsea. Love to go to, Stamford Bridge to watch a game. I think that'd be so wild to watch a soccer game over in Europe.
I think so too. And so like the Premier League, what is that? Is that just like an
Yeah, so that's
NFL?
Yeah, so it's the English Premier League. So it's the top tier league in England. The cool thing about soccer compared to like a lot of other leagues is there's so many players and so many leagues that like I think the English league has like 4 tiers. There's like Premier League 1, 2, and then like I think there's like a total of 4. So they're like relegation tiers. And if you finish like bottom 3, I think, in the Premier League, you get relegated, or you have a chance of getting relegated to like the league below, and then the
Mm,
top 3 or the top 1 from the tier 2 league would get promoted. So it's like it's really cool to see like the lower teams come up. I mean, there's so many football fans over in Europe. Like everyone's a diehard there. So it's really cool. Like Italy has a bunch of different levels. Same with Spain, Germany as well. So it's cool to see like such a big sport in so many leagues. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
mm-hmm. Very cool. All right, and we got number 3. We got the Blackhawks. Oh, my door. I have a hat. I was gonna wear it. I got the hat specifically for this show, and it is
Oh,
not
nice.
here. But it's a
Damn.
Blackhawk hat, and it's got this like company logo that I work at, so it doesn't matter. But um, I don't know. To be honest, I don't really watch a lot of like real life hockey. The only hockey that I really did watch was like live hockey when I lived in Atlanta, when the
Okay.
Atlanta Thrashers. I went to like one game, maybe two, but those were the only hockey games I've ever been to, and they were awesome. So I kind of wanted to throw the Thrashers up here, but I kind of wanted to stay authentic to the Chicago experience with the Hawks.
Here we go. All right, sticking on the soccer, but switching leagues over to the Bundesliga. Uh, Borussia Dortmund. So this started following them pretty much uh, at the same time as I was following Chelsea. So I really got into the German league. The other Sorry, I'm gonna go on a rant again. The really cool thing about the different like leagues
Hmm.
in different countries is they play like their play style is very different. So like when you go to England, it's very like skilled. Like you see a lot of nice footwork, nice shots. Germany gets like very physical. So,
Oh.
there's a lot more just like just seeing them play, it just looks different. Italy, we all know they're a little bit of a divers. Any Italians will probably hate me, but they have to agree. Italians like to dive, but very skilled for sure. And then when you watch MLS, like the Canadian League, you're pretty much watching volleyball because they'll just like keep like volleying the ball from one end to the other, and then the other team will get it and they'll like kick it back over to them. It's like very boring to watch MLS, in my opinion, because they're not like very good compared to obviously these leagues. But Borussia Dortmund, favorite player on this side, Lewandowski. He's obviously playing for Bayern Munich now, so I kind of follow them, which is like not allowed because they're rivals, but it's okay. I like following players more than teams sometimes. So still loyal to BVB though. Gotta love them.
And what a sweet logo they got. Looks like if I were driving in Germany in a tractor trailer, that this might be applicable to me.
There we
Um,
go.
all right, and we got number 2, the Bull, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman. Yeah, I remember being in elementary school and the three-peat repeat where we won 6 championships, not in a
Yeah,
row, but there was like a little break in between, but did it twice. That was super cool. I remember going to a Chicago Bulls game when I was little, and they'd like say the names like, and now from North Carolina, and my brother was like, when they say, Michael Jordan's name, you won't even be able to hear it because people will be like shouting so
cheering.
loud. And I
Oh,
remember
wow.
like how loud it was in there, and like I don't know, there's just like good memories. So appreciate the Bulls being a
Have you,
part.
watched The Last Dance?
Yeah, like 6/7 of it or however many. I didn't watch the whole thing, but
Okay,
it
okay.
was really good. I don't know why I
Yeah,
stopped watching it.
fair enough. I really enjoyed it. It was super interesting, documentary for sure.
I think it was one of those where I started watching it, and then the person that I was living with was like, "Oh, that looks good. I'm going to start watching it too." And then they like get ahead of you, and then you start like
Uh,
losing, like, "Oh man, was I on episode 4 or 6? I don't want to
right,
like
right.
sit here." And then that's what happened. So
Fair enough, fair enough. I can
yeah.
feel that.
All right, and number two for
Alright.
you.
Yep, back to the hockey. We got my Toronto Maple Leafs, and I feel like my number 1 and 2 are pretty much both, like, number 1 because 'cause they're both, like, my top team, but I had to pick, I guess, an order, so I, like, pretty much flipped the coin. But Toronto Maple Leafs, hometown, uh, started like, I don't know, hometown, so I just started watching whenever I watched hockey, they were my team. Uh Yeah, I'm sure everyone's got the Maple Leaf jokes. That's okay. We're gonna see a cup one day before I die. I feel like people have been saying that for the past like 60 years, but that's okay. Let's go Toronto Maple Leafs.
Well, in the spirit of waiting a really, really long time to get what you want, we've got the Chicago Cubs here, my number one team. Um, I don't know that baseball is like my favorite sport, but the Cubs are definitely my favorite team. I think the favorite thing about the Cubs is like my dad, like his father was from like Russia or like Ukraine or something. So like my father was the first generation like American, and he
Okay.
was super poor, and he like was in Chicago and it was like wintertime. He was a child, and he had to live on the south side of Chicago, which like
Oh,
today is like real dangerous, but like
right.
even back then was like very poor, hard time. And his that's like White Sox territory. So all the South Siders are like White Sox fans. So my dad, his grandma, because he needed a coat, bought him a coat, and well, he might like baseball, so got him a Cubs coat. And my dad had to wear it, and he told me how he would walk and get beat up like on the way to
Oh,
school and
crap.
like taking the train and things like that. But he was like, but I always kept the coat, and that's why he became a Cubs fan. So I don't know. I thought that was an interesting story. So that's a part of the reason why I appreciate the Cubs is like they were the team that like my dad liked. So I like them by extension.
Yeah, a pretty sweet reason to like them for sure.
All right, and number one.
Yeah, number 1, we got the Detroit Red Wings. Again, it's pretty much 1 and 2. I started liking them in, like, 2006 when I was playing NHL '06 on GameCube. I Detroit team was pretty much overpowered, so I always played them. I played, like, with them and played the game so much, I ended up memorizing, like, the full roster. I don't think I can name it fully now, but yeah, I love the Detroit Red Wings. Ever since then, I started following them, getting their merchandise, and then obviously they're like one of the most prolific hockey franchises. That was my original goals team, the Detroit Red Wings, and yeah, unfortunately, um, my real number one is the Dublin Dragons, though, of course, and one of my honorable mentions is Blue Mountain State football team. I don't know if you've watched the show, but it's a really funny show. So if you haven't, you gotta watch Blue Mountain State.
I know there's something about an ice rod, but I don't.
Yeah, if like man, if you ever get the chance, I can't we can't stream it in Canada now because like I don't know, there's always these shows that are restricted. But if you get the chance, watch Blue Mountain State because it's probably one of the funniest football shows like ever.
Okay, I'll definitely check it out where it's still legal,
Yeah,
before,
yeah, yeah. I don't think they actually play football on the show either. I think that it was like one of those shows where like they played football like once, but it was a football show.
Nice.
So
Well,
yeah, so
cool.
those are my top fives.
Yeah, that's sweet. Nice. You clearly know more about sports than I do, but it's cool to see we both got our passions, different geographies, and I thought it was really cool how, like Detroit, Motor City, that would be your team. Then it came from GameCube of all places.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, just that's where I started, and yeah, ever since then.
Very nice. Well, cool. Chewy, this was sweet. You got any closing thoughts for the people at home?
No, well, I guess everyone make sure you vote for the All-Star game. Voting closes next week, but other than that, I'm gonna hit the bed, hit the head. Oh man, hit the hay.
Hit the hay. All right. Well, until then, we'll see you next time.